We got positive, negative intervals, increasing and decreasing intervals. The front side is my favorite. I'm gonna do a lot of color coding because I'm just extra like that, okay? But what I need you to do for the box that you see or the line right here is we're gonna put those vocab words in. All right, because it has a blank for a reason. And remember, when you see things like this that have blanks, you can expect to see them on your quiz or test as vocab. A blank is a region of the domain that is above the x-axis. Above. That's a positive interval. I need you to fit that in this blank right here, please. A positive, let me zoom in for y'all babies. A positive interval is a region that is above the x-axis. And it kind of goes like, I don't want to say use common sense, but it kind of flows. Because if you think of positive, positive is above, right? So if that's the case, take a guess what would be below. There we go. The negative interval would be the part of your graph that is below the x-axis, okay? Let me show you what I'm talking about. You have a picture of a U-shaped graph, okay? It's a quadratic graph. On this graph, you have portions of it that are above the x-axis and portions that are below. It's going to take a minute for some of you to process this. Go ahead if you need to sharpen your pencil quick. So I'm going to show you something that may or may not help, I don't know. But you got to think of it like this. This is your x-axis, okay? On this x-axis, the parts that are above are positive intervals, the parts that are below are negative intervals. We always walk on the x-axis. Think about a little person, a little stick man, right? I am walking on this x-axis right here. As I walk on the x-axis, I want to start from negative infinity always. So from negative infinity until I get to this number here, the graph is above the x-axis. See this part of the graph? It's above the x-axis, isn't it? So it's a positive interval. I want you to tell me what number is right here. It's -3. So what I'm going to write in the box over here is that my positive interval is negative infinity to -3. Y'all, intervals will always have parentheses. Every interval will have a parenthesis. That's what I love about intervals. You don't have to remember brackets and parentheses and none of that stuff. Everything is a parenthesis with intervals. Everything, okay? Let's keep going. My little man's gonna keep walking. But what happens is, from -3 until I get to this right here, all of that is below. So, you see how this part is below? That's a negative interval. What is the number right here that I'm touching? +3. Thank you. We together? Write this down. -3. And y'all, we're in this part right here. To +3. That is a negative interval. I'm not done. My graph continues. On this portion of the graph right here, you see that this portion is above the x-axis. So this is a positive interval. I'm still walking on this x-axis, y'all, from 3, say it again, I heard somebody say it, to infinity. I don't know who said that, but it was a young man in this section. Good job. So you're going to come back over here and write this down, and there's the other box right here. Do I have any more negative intervals though? No. So just leave that other box blank, because there aren't any more negatives, okay? Talk to me. E-pass, baby girl. So now, you about to do some graphing. One thing I wish we could change about this is I wish the graphs were already there for you. But it is what it is. They're not. It says on the next section, because we're going to practice this again, you're going to determine the intervals for the functions you see here, which ones are positive and which ones are negative. You have to type this in your calculator to get the graph. So I want you to go to your calculator, press Y equals right here, press Y equals, okay? And then type this equation in, please. Or you can graph it using slope-intercept form. It's totally up to you. All right? If you have something already there, you need to clear it out, y'all, obviously. And I am going to look at my graph because I got some key points I need to make sure that I plot. One of the important places to point out on my graph is that I have an x-intercept of -5. Am I going too fast? Okay. So I want you to put a dot on -5, please. I'm on number 1 right here, y'all. Put a dot on -5. The other important place is, anybody see that number at the top? 10. That's my y-intercept. You're going to pretend that I'm drawing a straight line because chances are it will be a little bit crooked. But, yeah, okay, no, let me try again. I can do better than that. Yeah, no, JK. All right, draw your line. Now, this one's going to be different from the example that we just did, okay? But we're still doing the same thing. We want to see what's below, what's above. So I'm going to separate it for you so you can see what I'm talking about. This is my x-axis, right? And I am walking along my x-axis starting from -infinity. From -infinity until I get here, this part is below the x-axis. If this is below the x-axis, what do you call that one?
Negative interval.
Negative interval. So I'm going to write -infinity to, what's that number there, y'all?
-5.
That's what's up. My boy don't play. From -infinity to -5 is a negative interval. So I'm going to write that, pay attention on this side. Pay attention, it's switched, okay? -infinity to -5. Y'all, intervals always have parentheses. Let me say that again, okay? Now I'm going to change gears because this part all the way over is above the x-axis. So from -5 to +infinity, that's above, okay? Write that down on the first blank. Yes? Okay, not too bad? Yes, E-pass, please. The next example, we got to do another graph. You're going to get good with these graphing calculators. Boy, I tell you. In case you forgot, there's an absolute value bar that we're going to have to type in there. And when we get to that point, it's second, 0, enter. I better just put these calculator tips on the board. Absolute value.
Are they going to be up here on the test?
Yes. Yeah, I'm going to make sure you have it on the test because I don't want you guys struggling on that. So to do absolute value, it is second, 0, enter. All right, so the equation, we go to y equals again. had a 2. Now do the bars. Crap, I didn't do it. And it was x minus 2. And then outside of it was minus 4. Okay, there are important points that you need to plot, okay? Let's look at the graph so we can get those. Or, y'all, I don't know if I told y'all this last class. I think I did, but I don't know. You can look at the table if you're not sure what the numbers are on the graph. Because the table gives you the exact points. You get to the table by pressing second, and then the word table's in blue, okay? How many of you noticed that whenever you want to get to the blue word, you have to press the blue button first? Did y'all notice that? If you didn't, you know. So anything that you see in blue, to get to that, you press the blue button first. That's all. These are my values that I have for my table that will match the graph. I need to make sure I plot the vertex, that's very important, and I need to plot those 2 x-intercepts as well. So the main things I'm looking at is this 0, 0, this 2, negative 4, and this 4, 0. I repeat, we need to plot the 0, 0, the 2, negative 4, and then the 4, 0. Once we get those points, we can just draw the lines for the rest part of the sketch. All right, so 0, 0, 2, negative 4, and then 2, 3, 4 over. Draw your lines. Let me know if I'm going too fast, y'all. Am I going too fast? No. Now we got to identify what's above and what's below. This is above. This is below. And this part is also above. And I always start from negative infinity. I am walking on this x-axis, and if it's above, it's a positive interval, below is a negative interval. Ready? From negative infinity until I get to this right here. What is that number?
0.
Thank you. From negative infinity to 0. This is a positive interval. Please put that on the line that says positive. Don't write too big because we're going to have to fit another one on there, okay? Look at the little smidge. From 0 to 4, that is my negative interval. And then from 4 to positive infinity, look at that, it's above the graph. That's my other positive. 4, positive infinity. Yes? Question? We ain't done by all means. I just want to make sure we good so far.